Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today I thought I'd continue the video on this, the k989. So what I wanted to show you was the suspension setup now. I've got it on the lowest setting, and I think the car now has got a pretty good stance. And now what I'll do is I'll remove the body clips and I'll show you the actual suspension. So now, as you can see, the shocks that I was working on the other day are now mounted on the car. As you can see, it does make a difference. Let me just... As you can see as well, I don't have no prelude. So I've got it on the softest and lowest. And I think I've now got it set up pretty good, guys. So, back to the main reason why I'm doing this. When you get these shocks, you get these sorry about this, guys. Right, so you get these little spacers here, and there's another one down here. Obviously the same on the front. So there and there. So on the back, is it on the back? No, not on the back. So on the back, you have to put one spacer on the inside to space out the shock. Then to do the rear, you put it from the outside. So inside, outside. And then what that will do is it will keep the shocks pretty much straight. So they're like that. I just do that. So that your shocks stay out like this. When I first tried to mount it, I tried to mount it with these behind, and then what that was doing was pushing the shock on an angle like that. Obviously that's not going to work. So yeah, to get around that, you put one on the inside, one on the outside. Same story with the front. When on the inside, when on the outside. If you don't, and you try putting them both on the inside, I think it puts the shock. I think it puts it that way. But anyway, if you just put one on the inside and then the bottom one on the outside, same as on the rear, on there, inside, outside, and your suspension will be pretty good. Obviously you can adjust this as well. So if I put the preload of the shock up, I've had this car so it's sat like as high as it will. Another way as well that I've managed to get more suspension travel is a little hack that I've had to do, but I'll show you that in a minute. And look, I don't think you necessarily need these shocks. I just wanted them because the stock shocks only come with these shocks. These are the stock ones you get. You can also get a bit of ride height out of these. So you can get a bit more travel. So the way that you would get more travel out of the stock shock, let me just remove these. I just use these as a prelude. So the way to get more travel out of a stock shock is literally just to trim, just to cut off a section. Just snip off a piece. But obviously make sure you do it equal to all four. So you just cut a bit down. And then once you trim some down, it will allow this to move higher, which will give you more travel. But the only reason why I wanted to change it from that is because of these spacers. So the only way you can adjust the preload is with this preload clip. And all four are the same size. So there's no in between. You can only have it on that. Which is okay if that's the space that you need to take up. Not always the case. So it'd be good if they could make some smaller ones. But yeah, so you get all four in that size, and yeah, it's just, you can't really adjust it too great with that. As you can see, like if I tightened up these, it would bring the car up for a start and make the suspension a lot stiffer. But I've got it set on really soft. As you can see, like literally just a touch. Right. I'm not even hardly touching that. I'll do it with the pen. That's just tapping it. So the other thing that I did to get more ride height is the cup. Oops. The cup inside here. I've cut mine down. If I get one of these, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell this really. So this is a normal, this is how they come. They're like quite long, as you can see. I don't know if I can really compare it, because the shocks are in the way. But if you look in the rear, you can kind of see how short it is. Compared to how long that one is. So you can do that, you can shorten them and it'll give you more suspension travel, but you don't want to cut them too short. Is what happens if you cut it too short. The ball or the dog bone part that sits in here will keep popping out. How I did mine is I kind of just did it with it in the car. Again, it's going to be hard to see. If I turn that way so you could kind of see. So you see where the bone is, you could kind of see where the little metal bit is. I just went out a bit more from that and then cut it. You see? But now if I compress the suspension, if it stays focused. So yeah, all I did was take how far this pin goes in and then just come out slightly, and then I just marked it and then just trimmed it down. So let's just say that this is the dog bone part and it's inside the drive cup. As your suspension is swinging up and down, the shaft that comes out will hit the edges of this and limit your suspension travel. So hence why I've trimmed mine down all the way around, say to like about here. If I just mark it. I don't know if you can really see the line. So let's just say that was the ball. And then this would stop it from pivoting up and down because it would block it. So if you just trim some of this off, it won't block it anymore and then you get more travel. But like I said, don't trim it down too much, because if you do, as it's going up and down, so your suspension is going up and down, as you can see, it kind of slides forward a little bit. So as you're going up and down, it will pop out. So don't trim it too far down. Because, yeah, I follow Beaver's hobby channels on this build. So if it wasn't for him, my K989 wouldn't be working like it is. Like that. When you get these out of the box, they don't really roll with one finger. And that's under the weight of the car. See? Just rolls freely now. Again, thanks to Beaver's hobby channel. So if it wasn't for him, my K989 wouldn't be running that great. Because obviously if you got one of these, you know that they don't roll this freely out of the box. They're really sticky out of the box. So yeah, thank you to Beaver's hobby channels for the input on how to get it running more smoother. Also, another thing I did do is I raised up my ESC a little bit, just with a couple of plastic little spacers. Mainly just to bring it up away from the motor. Hopefully allow a bit more air to go over the motor. And it won't cause so much heat on the ESC. I have also drilled loads of holes in the cover. A lot of people just take this cover off, but I didn't really want all the circuit board exposed, even though it is exposed. But if you take that off, it would be fully open, and it will be. But yeah, I just drilled loads of holes in there so you can keep the cover on it and still get air into it. I think it's a pretty good idea. Probably done overkill on the holes, but hey ho. That's pretty much it, guys.